Hi guys, welcome back to Jack's Vlogs. This is the first edition of Jack's Not So Fireside Chats. What do you think the intro for this should be? I'm thinking Jack's Fireside Chat. What do you think? I pulled questions from the Michigan Tech Facebook page, and I thought it would be fun to answer them and maybe even show you the answer on campus. So the first one, are freshmen allowed to have vehicles on campus? Yes. However, the vehicle will probably be in lot 21 or lot 23 because your parking is based on your credits. Lot 4, right outside my building, is probably the best. Or 17, depends on which place you live in. Next question, Joel asks, "Hi everyone, I was wondering if there was a place on MTU that has listed tutors. My daughter has an advanced modeling class and she never learned some of the basics. Thanks." Yes, Joel, there is. There's different learning centers for different subjects. This one specifically, there's an engineering learning center that can help you work with your NX models or SolidWorks or CAD. More specifically, though, you could probably ask your professor for help because most professors... Nope. More specifically, though, you could ask your professor for help because there's a ratio of... More specifically, though, you could ask your professor for help because there's a ratio of 12 students to every one professor, and they're always willing to help, at least in my experience. Next question. This one comes in the phrase of a question. I don't know if it's not a question, but someone asked, who wants to tell their husky about walking uphill both ways in the snow? And it's a picture, Victor, of a kid who didn't wear a face mask and got snow blown into his beard. I'm gonna put it up on the screen for you guys, but I'm gonna show Victor so he can laugh. Anyway. I thought that was funny, so I saved it. Next question comes from Sue. Sue asks, do they cancel broomball games for extreme temperatures? Michigan Tech doesn't like to cancel anything unless the wind chill gets below 40 degrees. Actually, Victor and I just got a call that tomorrow's classes are canceled.
That's like the first time in like 6 years that's ever happened. So like...
kind of making history here.
Tech doesn't cancel classes for anything.
So, long answer short, no, they don't. Unless an anomaly of low temperatures happens. Next question. Oh, here we go. Melissa asks, my son forgot to ask for quarters for laundry before he headed back. Can he get a roll of quarters from his RA? He lives in Watts. He can't get it from the RA. We'll show you exactly where he can get his quarters in Watts. All right, Victor, let's go. Keep it rolling, too. So, Melissa's child left their quarters at home, but you can take $1 or any amount of money, $20, to the front desk and they will exchange it for quarters. They don't want to be on camera, but they will exchange it for quarters. Just like magic. Next question. This next one comes from Susan. Susan asks, are there tunnels to get to each... You can come through. Susan asks, are there tunnels to get to each building on campus? No, Susan, there are not. But my recommendation is that you get a nice poofy scarf and a big jacket. And you should have no problem getting to classes because you only really need to spend maybe 30 seconds outside. Another question, I don't remember who it's from, but someone asked, is there an overpass to go over the highway that's in the middle of campus? No, there's not, but the highway is one lane each way. It's very, very small. So as long as you're paying attention to where the cars are, you'll have no issue. Next question, once we get inside. We're in the library, so we have to be quiet, but Grant asked a question. He saw that dining dollars were on his student bill, and he's wondering what those can be used for. Now you can use those anywhere on campus where you can buy food or drink. So there's different types of places, like the library cafe. Hi guys. Could I have a medium coffee that I'm gonna use my dining dollars for? Thank you. Wow, you're natural. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Have a nice day.
You can buy smoothies, you can buy sandwiches. Anyway, next question. Carolyn asks, when does school start? January, question mark? I think this year was January 15th. Do you know? January 15th, yeah. A few more questions. Tammy says, question here, daughter is a freshman this year. When is move-in day in the fall for existing students? Can they move in the same weekend as incoming freshmen? Yes, they can come in the same weekend as incoming freshmen. There's a set open date for move-in. That's for every student, but it's recommended that the freshmen come that day because there's O Week. If you want to learn more about O Week, go watch my first vlog. Shameless plug. That's it for this episode of Jack's Not So Fireside Questions. If you have any questions, I think we're going to make an Instagram story about it right after this video posts. Go ask your questions there. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next vlog.